Okay, today I do have some interesting questions someone asked. So first question is, how does switching between your native language and English affect your confidence when communicating with others in daily life? Question mark. Really interesting question, isn't it? So I'm just gonna explain more like logical ways right now, and then I'm gonna add my own opinion so you guys can clearly understand what you are talking about. So, from a sociological perspective, which is sociological is like a highly recognized vocabulary. I'm sorry if you guys never had chance to learn those kind of high quality vocabulary, but the most of majority of us who had to learn second languages, we had to go through all those higher vocabulary learning situation. Otherwise, it was hard for us to pass those exam. In order to achieve those American nationality, I'm gonna have to turn off those phone calls someone else is calling. But anyways, switching between languages often create a shift in social identity. In English-speaking environments, confidence may fluctuate because language becomes a maker of belongings or outsider status, right? Almost true. You guys think if I speak several languages that you guys do not understand, you guys probably gonna looking at me like, is she an alien? What is she talking about? I mean, she look different than a majority of Americans, anyways. But like often I do get those kind of like misunderstanding of because I do look very young, and majority of Americans do not know Asians, not Asians age. So I am like kind of old for dealing with the 20s because I'm like 40 something years old, and my kids are all married and they are almost middle ager than 20 something. And often I see a lot of majority of American thinks I'm like a teenager or just look like 20 something years old or some. So I have to speak like adult languages. Otherwise, how are they gonna distinguish about this person's age? Because for those blessing that we got from God, so Asians doesn't have those brightly young looking radiant. So wanted to make sure that you guys understand when you guys see Asians, you guys would never know how old she is, what kind of background she has. Maybe she might be someone important than you guys think. So just please be careful not to be go over those mannerism, because often you guys might make a mistake and regret later. I just want to make sure that we have a great relationship between countries to country, because a lot of times who end up living in United States, they came from some other countries, and you guys might be so surprised like how much of a friend they have in different countries. So do not want to use that kind of situation, not beneficial for Americans. Anyways, let me just keep talking about those. Many bilingual individuals experience what sociologists call linguistic insecurity. So a lot of majority of America would think if someone speaks more than two languages, they might have some kind of a linguistic confusion, or how would they speak both of the languages, like, and how are they stay normal with some. I understand those concerns, but if someone speaks more than one languages, they are blessed to have those talents, so they can manage those and knows what to say, what to speak, what to look for. Because many times my first for instance, my first language is a mixed with 3 different languages from the beginning. So many times I had to look up several languages to explain to someone else and find their languages original meanings, so that way we do not have a misunderstanding to each other, so we can just make those conversation for each other. So I'm just trying to speak from many majority perspective, and also for those minorities perspective, because they do not want to get along with their grammar, because they feel they don't want to be less than majority of Americans, which you understand that grammars not always matter because we speak with the feelings attached to it. So when someone try to speak perfectly, they probably do not want to give someone those impression of misunderstanding area. Anyways, let me go back to the more important spot right here. So right now I was talking about linguistic insecurities. Many of highly intelligent areas suffers, which means where small mistakes feel like they reflect intelligence or social value, even though they don't. At the same time, speaking two languages can also increase confidence by offering cultural flexibility, allowing someone to navigate multiple communication with ease. But nowadays, lots of American likes easy, like a social trend that lots of American like Caucasian, they speak about take it easy or like easy. So when those minority wants to emphasize those linguistic insecurity, you could just speak something different from those Americans' perspective. Like, is this grammar really matter? Because we just want to understand who you are, how you're doing, and we just want to have communication and connect together. So maybe less anxiety would be great for each other, but I also understand why those intelligent area might suffer from those avoiding mistake areas as well. And sometimes we do often make mistake in grammar area to make maybe dry humor, like a joke, wanna be closer with someone. That's how I do those often. Sometimes I speak, if someone learns some English with the grammar, I could switch those adjective or some kind of adverb, and they would understand, they would notice. And then I don't want them to think like, she do not know that area, and I wouldn't know what kind of personality that person has. Or someone might try to correct your speaking, like, that's not how you're supposed to speak. Maybe you should speak in right way. Or there are so many areas that we could know someone else's personality when they do not want to reveal their own true heart or their personality. Anyways, the point is those like making conversation between living things are not that complicated. But I do admire those areas that have a